Okay, let's talk about something that, secretly gets to almost all of us. It's that nagging feeling that what we have just isn't quite enough. This is a really core idea from Morgan Housel's amazing book, The Psychology of Money. It's just so human. I mean, it's a powerful question, right? And it really doesn't matter who you are. You could be a student just starting out, you could be climbing the corporate ladder, or maybe you're an entrepreneur who's already built something incredible. That little voice, it's always there, whispering, you could have more, you should have more. But here's the twist, and this is where it gets really fascinating. You'd think that if you were a billionaire, that voice would just shut up, right? But it doesn't. So if people who have literally everything still can't feel like they have enough, what does that mean for the rest of us? Let's dive into why that is. All right, so to really get this, we're going to look at a couple of powerful stories. Think of them as cautionary tales about what happens when that hunger for more just goes completely unchecked, even when you're already at the very top. So let's start with a guy named Rajat Gupta. We're talking about a net worth of around $100 million. This wasn't just some successful guy. He was the CEO of McKinsey, one of the most prestigious firms on the planet. He was on the boards of Goldman Sachs and Procter & Gamble. I mean, this is the kind of success most of us can't even fathom. And yet, with all that money, all that respect, he gets caught up in an insider trading scheme. Now, why would he do that? It's not like he needed the money, right? He risked absolutely everything, his reputation, his freedom, all for just a little bit more. This wasn't your classic greed. No, it was something more subtle, that corrosive feeling that it's just never enough. And you see the same pattern with Bernie Madoff. Both of these men had everything. They had what 99.9% of us would call making it. We're talking immense wealth, public respect, total freedom. But they threw it all away, chasing something they didn't have and, more importantly, didn't even need. It's like they still felt poor on the inside. Okay, so this leads to the big question. Why? Why does this happen? And it's not just about them being bad people or having some kind of character flaw. It's actually a deep-seated part of our psychology. It's a trap, and it has a name, the moving goalpost trap. And this quote from Housel, man, it just hits the nail on the head. He says the hardest financial skill isn't earning more, it's getting the goalpost to stop moving. Think about it. Our brains are wired to adapt. As soon as you hit a goal, boom, you're already setting a new, higher one. There's actually a term for this in psychology. It's called the hedonic treadmill. It's this idea that we're always running, chasing that next thing we think is going to finally make us happy. But we never actually feel like we get anywhere. That thrill you get from achieving something, it fades super fast because it just becomes the new normal, your new baseline. And here's what that cycle looks like, right? 1, you achieve a goal. 2, that becomes the new normal. 3, you set a new, higher goal. And 4, the chase just starts all over again. It's almost like a video game where every time you get close to the finish line, it just moves further away. It's an endless loop unless you make a conscious choice to just step off. So what's pouring gasoline on this fire? Well, it's social comparison. Especially today, right, with social media, that goalpost isn't just moving on its own, it's being shoved further and further away by millions of other people. You buy a nice car and then you see someone with a better one. You get that promotion, someone else launches a whole startup. You hit 10,000 followers, but then you see someone else hit 1 million. What felt amazing a second ago can suddenly feel like nothing. So the big question is, how do you break this cycle? How do you escape this trap? Well, it all starts with defining for yourself what enough actually means. That's the antidote. That's how you get off the treadmill. And this piece of wisdom from Housel is just so powerful. He says there's no reason to risk what you have and need for what you don't have and don't need. I mean, just think about that for a second. People risk things that are literally priceless and you can never get back, like their health, their family, their peace of mind, all for a bit more money or status that they don't actually need. The whole game is just figuring out the difference between what you want and what you truly need. So here's a little mental exercise for you. Just pause for a second and ask yourself this question. And be really honest. If nothing in your financial life changed, starting right now, would you still be okay? Would your life still be good? You know what? If the answer is yes, then congratulations. You've already won. You've found your enough. Because in a world that is constantly, and I mean constantly, screaming at you to be dissatisfied, finding contentment, that's the real victory. That is the ultimate flex. So here's the bottom line, the big takeaway. Real wealth isn't about the number in your bank account. It's about peace of mind. It's waking up and not feeling that crushing anxiety that you need more. Look, having more money doesn't make you greedy, but forgetting when to stop the chase, that is what will absolutely break you. The real goal here is peace of mind, because if you don't define your enough, that chase, it will never, ever end.